All praise to the Most High. It's only one God. Yeah. Man, we got another good one from y'all, man. No BS, no messing around today. A lot of our young people feel like they've been abandoned in two ways. They've been abandoned by the government, the system, and they've been abandoned by the OGs in our communities, right? But let's look at the first one. How was they abandoned by the government, right? How was young black and brown boys and girls abandoned by the government? Let's just take a look at, this is where I grew up at. This is the grammar school that I went to. This is Calhoun Elementary, man. And a lot of schools in Chicago, man, they closed down the schools and they opened up the prisons. This is what we got to go through in these neighborhoods and in these communities, man. Look at this, man. This is a place, an institution in the community that generations has went to this school and a lot of these other schools in Chicago, and just look at it, man. The schools are closed and the prisons is open, right? So instead of using this school for turn it into like a community center, a resource center, a boys and girls club for the community, the government or rather just let it waste and go to ruin. Look at this. Got money for all of these other groups. We got money for these other countries. Now they done just brought immigrants from Venezuela over here, gave them a lot of resources, and we not knocking on them. We not hating on them, right? But there is an issue. There is a problem when we're not taking care of our own. We got to take care of our own first before we start taking care of others, right? Self-preservation is one of the number one rules to life. You got to make sure your people straight. You got to make sure your community straight before you start taking care of others. The schools closed. They closed down all the schools and they opened up the prisons. They're going around hunting our young teenage black boys. They hunt them every single day for weapons, and they could just be walking down the street with their hoodies on. They finna get stopped by the police, and we are being hunted down, and it's got to stop, man. It's got to stop. Look at this, man. Abandoned. Schools closed, but the prisons open. So this is just one way that we feel abandoned. This is one way that our young people, our young brothers and sisters feel abandoned. But we really want to focus on our young men on this video. Our young brothers, they are being abandoned. When it comes to adequate resources, it's actually cheaper to send a person to college than it is to send them to prison. It probably cost $20,000 to send a young boy or a young girl to college, and it's gonna cost about $40,000 to send them to prison or more. And it's not cool, and we got to do something about it. And I propose that this school be turned into a mall for the neighborhood, to give jobs to the community, to give resources to the community, much needed resources. Let's turn it into a boys and girls club. Let's have a safe place for our young people to go. It's a big gymnasium in here. It's an auditorium in here. That stuff can be rented out. That stuff can be used. Can use the gym room so that the young boys can play basketball and can play sports, and teach the young girls dance and jumping rope and sports as well. It could be idolized, man. This could be used. It don't have to be like this, man. The second point, when it comes to abandoned, our young people feel like they've been abandoned. Our young boys, our young men, our young warriors feel like they've been abandoned, right? It's by the OGs of the community, right? And that would be guys like my age now. We the new OGs. Shouts out to my cousin King. It's guys like us now. We the OGs, and a lot of our young people feel like that our generation have abandoned them, right? But let's look at the generation before us, right? The guys who was out, who was trying to make sure that the community was organized, who was trying to make sure that the community was unified. A lot of them guys, the gang leaders, they swept them guys up off the streets. The government targeted them guys and was tough on them guys to get them guys off the streets because they perceived them as being a threat. So a lot of our young people, they never had the opportunity to really get the guidance and the wisdom from the OGs. A lot of them went to prison. And then the ones who were still out, a lot of them went on to other things in life. And so the young men, the neighborhood felt like the OGs abandoned them, right? And in actuality, it really wasn't true. The OGs never abandoned the shorties, right? Why? Y'all our future. Y'all our legacy. Whatever we was doing to make a better way for y'all. It's a lot of older men, it's a lot of OGs who made a lot of sacrifices for the neighborhood, right? It's a lot of OGs who made a lot of sacrifices for the community. And it was never intended to abandon our shorties. It was never intended to abandon our young men, our teenage men, right? And we left it for y'all. We left it for the younger generation, right? We left y'all in good standing. And a lot of shorties, a lot of the younger guys it up. Even when it comes to the streets is so bad now. You can't even really get in and make it's just difficult to make money now, right? It's all messed up. It's all screwed up. The scriptures today that I want to read from is 1 Timothy 5:8. But if any provide not for his own, and especially for those of his own household, he have denied the faith and is worse than the infidel. Now with this particular text right here, it's just pointing out the importance of taking care of your own before you start trying to take care of some others. And that's, sometimes we see people do that, they taking care of other people, but they're not taking care of their own household. And we can't abandon our people like that. We can't abandon our household like that. And it just works best when you take care of home first, when you take care of your people first, when you take care of your community first. And then the second text that I want to focus on is Psalms 68 verse 5. And it says that a father, and talking about God, the creator, the most high, a father of the fatherless and a judge of the widows is God in his holy habitation. Now, whatever you going through in life, if you feeling abandoned, you feel like ain't nobody there for you, you feel like don't nobody listen to you, right? You feel like you by yourself, just realize that you never by yourself, right? And seek the Most High in all your struggles. No matter what you're going through, big or small, seek the Most High, because you never by yourself, you never alone, right? He's always with you, and we must be aware of that. This is another component that I can't leave out when it comes to abandon, and when you feeling like you abandoned. A lot of times it be the violence that we see in the streets. It be a cry for help. It's like, man, ain't nobody listening. They not building in our communities. They not our government. We putting money in. We paying taxes, but we not getting anything in exchange for the money that we putting in. We not getting nothing in exchange for our votes. We put the Democrats in and the Republicans in. We not getting anything in exchange for our vote. And so we feel like we're being abandoned by our government. And this is how a lot of our young people think. And a lot of our young people, because of the abandonment, and these are facts, because of they being abandoned by the government, they being abandoned by the Democratic Party, they've been abandoned by the Republican Party. The only thing that we can do is act out violently. Because when a person crash out, when a person act out violent, guess what? They got everybody's attention, even if it's just for a split second. Now, our young people, when they violent, now it's being taken more serious. He got a gun. But it's a cry for help. It's a cry for help. And this is what we teach at MZT Motivation, right? And this is a fact. I see this going on all the time. When a young woman is hurt or when she's feeling abandoned, right? Young girls, young women, they usually act out sexually, right? When a young man feeling abandoned, he feeling hurt, he usually act out violently. And so, it's a cry for help, right? It's a cry for help. And we got to do something about this, man. Like, we got to seriously do something about this. And these solutions, let's start by building in the community. Let's start by investing some of these dollars that we have spent back into our communities. We're not asking for a handout, but we definitely need economical development in our communities so that our young men and that our young women can have something to look forward to, can have a future. They can close down all of the schools, and ain't no factories in the community. Ain't no decent paying jobs in the community. It's not business promotions. Business opportunity, business funding. It's hard to get funding for these businesses in the community, and you got to go through all of these loops and different things. So let's start there.